can show you maybe a little example of what I can do with this.
Yeah, let's
go ahead. Let's just take some portrait pictures I shot and see like what kind of adjustments we can do and how quickly we do it. So here it's a portrait of Ava DuVernay, an American movie director and producer. And here I'm in the library mode. You can see on the device, you can see that I have functions associated to the library mode. I will jump into the develop mode because here I want to show you how quickly I would adjust and how I can do everything without moving out of the device. The first thing I do when I have a picture I want to adjust is to put my favorite preset. I have, like many Lightroom users, I have different settings, and like there is one that I use a lot that is kind of my base colorimetric adjustment. So I just press this button. I assigned to this button this preset. It's super easy to do. I press, boom. I have the preset done. This you could have done just by clicking on the left side, you would say. But then you see the picture is a little bit bent. So I would need to straighten it up. I could also just scroll down the way to the function. It's here. But I can also just press this button. Boom, it's straightened. And now I want to balance a little bit more the image, so I will darken a little bit the right side of the image. So I will go in the masking tool. I press the button. It opens a masking interface on the device. You can see that here I have a few options for the masking that I use. The preset, the profile you see here is one that I developed. So I started with the existing profiles, and then I customized it, and now it's quite a lot of customization. So in this case, I will just add a linear gradient, and I will draw it here. And that's when comes into play the action ring I mentioned. I press into this button on the device, here on the side, and on my screen you can see this wheel that appears with different functions. And what is amazing is that you just highlight, you don't have to click or anything, you just over the function you want. In this case, I want to change the exposure, and you turn the wheel, and it's so smooth. Like it's continuous. There's no clicking or anything. It's just like woo, very very gently moving. And I think it's a bit too cold, so let's make it warmer. So I highlight the temperature, and I turn it clockwise, and it's getting a little bit warmer. I don't know if you see that on the live. And I can escape this. I can adjust my gradient, and I can escape this setting. And now we have already one adjustment. Let's imagine now I want to send it on an Instagram story, so I would need to crop it 16:9. So I click on the device, I click the crop button, boom. And here I preset some image ratio that I like. So I take 16:9, boom. And it's done. On the other page, I can adjust the placement. I love doing it with these arrows. I think it's super fun.
It's satisfying click.
Yeah, and then I want to maybe make it a little bit tighter. So here I click crop size, and you see there is this round, which shows that it's connected to the dial. So I turn, and boom, tack. I make it closer so I can remove the frame on the edge. And I would just do a little arrangement like that, maybe. Okay, I think like that we're good. Okay. Now, I will make it a little bit higher so the lamp is fully into this. I prefer that. Now, I did this adjustment. You saw it was super quick. What about copying all that? So I copy all the adjustments I just did. I go to the next image, and I paste it.
Paste. Boom.
Boom. So, of course,
Amazing.
I would just need to adjust the cropping position a bit. Let's do it like that.
I really like how you go into the crop and it pops up with completely new actions for the keypad.
Yeah.
So you have like a secondary level, and it's smart.
Yeah, there are these sub-modes in the Logi app. It's super easy to organize, and for me, it's a bit like a Swiss Army knife. You have all the tools you want at the right place, and it allows me to do like cropping-related functions are in the crop folder. When I'm in the editing mode, when I need to put stars, color labels, and stuff, I don't need to do all that in the develop mode.
Yeah.
So everything is kind of segmented. So
Well, it's a similar question regarding the first Resolve application. You can create a profile if it uses shortcuts. And I believe that we are also planning to release the plugin for InDesign sometime next year.
Nice.
So yeah, and Marketplace will just continue growing, more content coming every time.
But again, like meanwhile, while waiting for it, it's easy to also develop your own because
Yeah, at least some
in a
basic
software like
controls.
Lightroom, there's so many keyboard shortcuts.
Exactly. So at least for some basic level of controls, even assigning the keyboard shortcuts is already quite useful. First of all, you don't need to remember the combinations, and some of them require 3 to 4 key presses. You can assign an icon to easily remember it, and of course, you can also create more advanced actions that we are going to show you later today. Now I want to ask you, Niels, to jump into your actual workflow and how do you typically start your project. So if you can explain maybe what are the first steps on how you edit your images, and also how the console helps you with that process.
Yeah, so for me, one of the challenge I wanted to pose to the console when I got it first was to see if I could use it for all the different aspects of my workflow, because I don't only retouch picture. One of the things that takes me most of the time is how to select the images, because you come back from a reportage or a photo shoot and you have hundreds or thousands of pictures, and how you can skip through them, put ratings, put color labels, et cetera, et cetera. And I wanted to see how this interface with these 3 different elements would help me doing it. So let's start here with a selection of images that just like come straight from the memory card. There is no color adjustment, no rating, nothing. What I would do is that I would just check the image. So I assigned, for example, this button to alternate between the grid and the zoomed view. And I use these buttons to skip between the images. So let's say that this one, I like it. I would put 3 stars. Why I put 3 stars straight away? For me, it's the threshold. Everything that is under 3 stars, I don't need them. I don't use them. Everything that is over 3 stars or at 3 stars, it's something that may end up in the final selection. So 3 stars for this one. This one I like also. This one I like up, maybe a vertical version. This is cool. You see, if you look at the device, I can have, because I placed it like that, I can have just everything within the reach of my finger. So with my thumb, I can quickly put the ratings. And with these fingers, I alternate between the images. That's important because every fraction of a second you save for one image, when you do thousands of images, it results in precious time you can use with your friends instead. So I like this one. Maybe this. I like this. Ooh, this one is even better. OK, so now I can go back to the grid. And I have some stars for my images. It's all 3 star or nothing. Now I want to refine the selection. So I go here, and I can filter 3 stars and more. I press the button. And boom, I have only this selection. And then comes my, it's my method to work. I start by selecting all these images that have 3 stars and more. And I can switch to the develop mode. I just want to attract your attention to something. If you look at the device right now, you will see that here we are in what is connected to the library mode, so the stars, the different viewing modes and stuff. Now I press this button to go to the develop mode, and everything changes. Here I have some presets, I have cropping, etc., things that are connected to what you do in the develop mode. The first thing I do, just like I did before, is to apply my favorite preset. But before that, I will make sure that I have auto sync activated. If you look on my screen at the lower right corner, you see that here it's activated. If it's not, I have a button for that on the device, so I can press it, or I can activate, deactivate. What is it going to do is that every change I do to one picture, it's going to apply to all the pictures I selected. So now it's activated. I press my favorite preset, And now all the images, if I go back to the library, all the images have this preset applied. I go back to retouch. And now one thing I can do is I will disable the auto sync because I want to customize individually the images. And that's where I really like using the action ring, and I will show you why. Now I want to, for example, increase a little bit the exposure. So I put my mouse anywhere on the image, just not on the face because maybe the face is an important detail. So I go here, I hover the exposure setting, and I just turn the knob. And this is really satisfying. You should try because also this knob is metallic, so it's quite fresh to the touch. And OK, I adjust that. Then I can escape this. I want to also straighten it because it's slightly, the perspectives are a bit skewed. Then I can also maybe play with the white balance. Yeah, let's make it colder and a little bit brighter again. You see, it's super quick, and this way you can experiment with your image, and sometimes it leads you to places you did not expect to go to, and really smooth experience.
I really like how it helps you to, stay focused on the image, so you don't break this eye connection with the edit.
Yeah,
it's really
you got it
amazing.
right. For me, that's super important. That if I'm checking at the slider on the right side, my attention, my focus, my eyes are focused on where the slider is, and then I don't pay attention to the image. But maybe it's a very tiny bit of yellow, more or less, that matters, and that's what I like. It's more immersive, and it allows you to be more creative and also to be more precise. First, before digging into the retouching of a picture, I wanted to show, I mentioned how I created my custom profile, and I wanted to show you how easy it is to do. So when you open the Logi option app, here I just put some placeholder. I guess if you use Lightroom, you already have some presets that you like to use. And here so let's search for my favorite preset. It's called Bretzel 21. So if I just start searching, and here I see Bretzel 2021. And I don't know exactly how the software is doing this, but it's able to explore all these presets. And this is not something you could do with a keyboard shortcut in Lightroom. So I just take it, and I drop it here. And let's say here I want to have, for example, the crop function. I just search for crop tool, and boom, I have crop. So you see, it's super easy. It's a bit like playing Lego bricks or something like that. And no coding is needed. You just drop the function. If it's a keyboard shortcut, you just drop the keyboard shortcut, and you type it. So that's how easy it is to customize. Now I wanted to show you how to use it in a trickier situation than we had before. Here it's a picture of my friend Vincent, and the light was not the same on him as it was on the background, and he looks a bit blue, which is not his natural color.
Not maybe a bit blue.
And how would we correct that? So the first thing I would do if I go back to my device, of course, is to apply my preset. And the image is more contrasty, but still Vincent is blue. So the next thing is to isolate him. So I need to create a mask. So I go to the masking tool. And again, if you look at the device, the interface changes. And what we need to do is to select him. So select subject. And if I go here, you see that it selected him. So now I can change the white balance in him, because that's the problem. He's a bit too cold compared to the background. And I turn it. Voila. And you see that the skin is getting healthier.
And he looks much healthier.
Yeah, and he's healthy. So we can do it like that. But then I want to go one step further. I want to improve a little bit the shadow. And here I'm sharing with you one of my little tip is how to create more of a shadow on a character person, and to do it very quickly. So I will create a new subject mask that goes on top, and I will make it darker. So I go to the exposure. You see, the action ring is always there, and it's so quick, just touch. So you don't need to look at this. It's not like a keyboard where sometimes you're like, okay, which letter am I on? You just press, you have the action ring, and I will make it darker. So I created the shadows, and then I will remove part of this mask. So I can show the mask here. And if I go here on Subtract, and then it offers me all the options of masking, I take gradient. So I'm removing with a linear gradient, and you can see, voila, here I can draw the zone I want to remove. So I want to keep, you see, I want to keep it only in this part.
Yeah.
So if I remove this, here you can see that there is this shadow on the edge of the face, and I can disable and enable it.
Yeah, I mean, huge difference.
Like. Yeah, huge difference. I escape this, and I can show you the final image and the initial image. That's quite a difference.
It's a huge difference.
It took us only a matter of seconds.
Yeah.